Hey, welcome to another video today on No Face, No Case. I wanted to discuss a post that I saw online on Instagram, which I thought was very interesting because it's something I've seen many times in person in my personal experience and just online in general. So there was a post put on Instagram saying women who make over $100,000 are more likely to be single and say they are choosing or prefer peace over pressure. It also went on to say many of these women report opting out of relationships because they are tired of compromising peace, freedom, and standards. And I thought that was very interesting for a few different points. So we're going to kind of get into it. One of the things that I've noticed, in general, with relationships, right? The traditional view is that a man typically is the provider, protector. Typically, he's going to be making more than the woman, taking care of the house. That's kind of how it's always been. And even today, it's the same way. A man is usually making more. Women prefer a man to make more, and because, he provides. Interestingly enough, when the man makes more and he is providing, no one has a problem with the fact that he, provides for the woman, even if she's working. I've heard a lot of people say, even men have said this: her money is her money, and my money is our money, implying that she gets to keep her money, however much it is, and she gets to share his money, which, in my opinion, is very crazy. But that's the logic a lot of people live with. But what this post implies is that successful women, meaning women who make over 100,000, which is not a lot of women, they are choosing to be single allegedly because they prefer peace over pressure. What really caught my attention is the part that says that they are tired of compromising peace, freedom, and standards. Um, that's the part that really caught my attention because ultimately, really, the only standards they're talking about is that because they make a lot of money, they want a man who makes the same amount or more. So they won't have to share the money. Let's just let's just call it what it is. The fact is that when women start making money, they do not want to have to support the man financially, and they don't want to have to share their money. They want him to make the same or more so they can still keep their money, which is really a selfish mindset, if you ask me. Because if a man makes more money, he's expected to provide for the woman, and whether it's a car she needs, the house needs, whatever it may be, he's expected to pay because she doesn't make enough. That's accepted literally worldwide. Well, once women started making more money, their mindset became, no, my money's my money. You better be making as much or more, or we're not going to work. There was a popular post by Vivica Fox where she talked about a similar thing. She doesn't want to date. I think it was Vivica Fox. I think it was actually. I think it was actually somebody else, not Vivica Fox. But she talked about not wanting to put a lot of pressure on a man who doesn't make as much as she does because she goes on vacation for months and he may only go for days, and she wants a man who would go on vacation longer. And what's interesting with that is that's her priority. Her priority is vacations when it comes to find a man. Now, this is a woman who I believe is in her 50s and single. And her focus is on not wanting to spend more of her money on him because she wants him to be able to pay for the stuff. So when they say that they're focusing on peace and focusing on not wanting to have, wanting to maintain their standards, all they're really saying is they want the man to pay for stuff and she will keep her money, which is ridiculous and selfish. So let's delve into the point here. Point number one: the reason why women who are financially successful are single, A, is because they want the men to make more money. Now, here's the thing: both men and women are not usually established financially till they're well over 30, probably 40s or 50s, before people, most even men and women are very successful financially. So if a woman is established financially, she's usually at an older age, 40s or 50s. The new age rich women, unfortunately, most of them are doing something sexual. It could be OnlyFans, something to that effect, which obviously most men are not looking for that because that's not a wifey material. They will date women like that, have fun with them, but they're not trying to marry them. So by the time a woman is, let's say, in her 40s, and maybe she's a CEO or she's has a business, a legit thing, not OnlyFans or anything like that, making a ton of money, she wants to get a guy who is making similar money. Well, that guy is going to be in his 40s and 50s as well. Here's the problem: that man is not looking for you because he's looking for younger women. He wants someone in their 20s, under 30, young, and with no kids. Most women who are financially successful, they already have kids, they've already been divorced. Things like those are things that most successful men are not looking for. Well, if you are looking for a man who's successful and you are older in age, they're not going to want you. So that's the number one reason these women are single. It's not because they prefer to be single. It's because they cannot attract the men that they want. These men that they want who are successful do not want you. They want someone younger. They want somebody who is more fun, more compromising. They want somebody who does not have kids. And obviously, that's not going to be most of the women who are financially successful. Here's the second point. It's a little bit more controversial, but yeah, I'm going to say it. Stubbornness and prideful, set in their ways. Women who are successful financially automatically want to compete with men. I've seen this in my personal life when I try to date women who are financially successful. They all wanted to get in a relationship. I didn't want to do it because I saw the character. Literally, they are non-compromising. They feel like because they are making a lot of money, they don't have to agree with you. They don't have to go 50-50 in terms of different situations, or listen to your ideas. They want their way or the highway because they will lead with those things as well, whether it may be on a dating site, a conversation in person. A woman who is financially successful is going to tell you off the top, I have my own money, I have my own car, I don't need a man for anything. While those are good things to be successful and, not quote unquote need a man, just want a man to compliment you, when you vocalize those things, that's a turnoff for men automatically. Now, of course, financially successful women are going to say, well, that's a man who's intimidated by my success. No, it's not an intimidation about your success. It's being turned off by your behavior about your success. Those are two different things, and the nuances are important. I'll give you an example. Most women want a man who's attractive, a man who most other women want, a man who's successful, and a man who's well endowed. Let's call it what it is. But if I, as a man, lead with that when I meet a woman, whether it's on dating site or in person, and I say, "Hey, yes, I'm very attractive. Most women want me. I make a lot of money. Any woman will be happy to have me, or I have a huge penis." And if I lead with those things, it's going to be a turn off for most women. Why? Because it comes off arrogant. Not because those are not qualities women want, but because those are arrogant things to say and lead off with. People are more interested in your character, what you bring to the table. So that's the problem when a successful woman is leading with what she can do financially and how she's successful financially. That's going to be a turnoff for most men. I remember once talking to a woman, and before we met, we were chatting online. She was already. All I asked her was what she does for a living, and she hit me with her whole resume, what she's doing now, what she did before, how many years she did it, just showing off how successful she was. And that was a turnoff because I didn't ask you all that. And let's face it, most men are really not interested in your money unless they are men who are trying to take advantage of you financially. Your money is not important to a man, especially a man who has his own money. So leading with the money is always a turnoff. So most of these women are very uncompromising. They feel like they can compete with a man because they are successful, and they're not like other women who depend on a man. So that ego is what comes up in their behavior, and that's a turnoff for most men. Um, and the third thing is kind of what I talked about earlier. Finances becomes priority over a man's character. And so if a woman who's successful is focused on, I want a man who, at least makes 100K or more, then you're telling them that you don't care about character. You don't care about what he brings to the table in terms of how he treats you, how he treats other people. Is he a generous person? Is he a loving person? Is he a good father? Is he a man of faith? The things that actually are building blocks of a relationship, the things that shows a man is a good man. You're just worried about the money. And those are the things that's such a turnoff to men. So the problem is not that women are choosing peace because they want to protect their peace and have standards. They just have standards financially. And that's a problem because men are not expected to have standards financially. They're expected to take care of the woman if she's not employed, if she doesn't make a lot of money. But ironically, when women are getting money, now they want to protect their money, don't want to share their money, and want a man to make the same or more. So the question is, why is it not okay for you to share your money if he's making less? If you are making over 100,000, you have more than enough to pay for the vacation. Why can't you do that? You see what I'm saying? Yes, granted, let's look at both sides of the story. There's some men that are intimidated by the fact that a woman makes more money than them, but that's not most men. What most men have a problem with is the arrogance, the stubbornness, nature that comes with successful women because now they feel like they don't have to listen. A man still wants a feminine woman, not an alpha masculine woman. You can be an alpha woman and still be feminine. You can be a dominant, in your field, in your job, and still be feminine to your man, still be compromising, still be willing to validate his emotions, protect his pride, and things like that. So all of that is just to say, this is not true. This is actually not true. Most women want a relationship. Most women want a companion. You can ask a bunch of women and a bunch of men the same question. Would you rather have multiple partners or one? Most women want one partner. We ask this man the same question. Men prefer quantity over quality until they want a relationship. with the woman until they see a woman they have a future with. So I absolutely do not believe women are choosing to be single. It's just that they don't have a lot of options because most men do not want the drama and the ego and the pride that comes with women who are financially successful. So drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this. I'm more than happy to talk about it, and we'll delve a little deeper if we need to.